Chapter 5, Saturday Night at the Well. Back in room 321, Candy sobbed.
He slapped me, Kathy, and then he called me a whore.
What a jackass. You sure don't need that in your life.
But Kathy, he's the only man I ever loved. And I can't stop loving him. I don't think I can live without him.
Kathy cradled her. We'll get through this, Rumi. There was a knock. Leslie Goldstein, the chubby freshman from across the hall, was in a tizzy.
What's wrong? Candy asked. Laura, again. I can't take it, I'm telling you.
What's her problem now? Candy asked.
She thinks I stole her bra. Can you believe that? Every time she loses something, she thinks I stole it. I tried being nice, Candy. That didn't work. I tried avoiding her, but then she's mad about that. She's always mad about something. I just don't know what to do anymore.
Tell the R.A., Candy said. Maybe you can switch with someone. Leslie nodded.
So, are you guys doing anything tonight?
I'm going to a coffee house in town, Kathy said. You two want to come along?
What's going on there?
Candy asked. Remember the guy I met at the rally? He's singing tonight. They invited Lynn Moon and Jane Cross, a couple of softs from Philly that they ran into at the dining hall. Kathy told them about Frog's directive, so they all got dolled up like they were the authentic red-hot mamas of Lion's U. A gray-haired man in a clerical collar greeted them at the front door. Frog invited us, Kathy says. He nods. Yes, he told me to keep an eye out for cute dames with money, style, and a sense of humor.
That be us?
Leslie says. They sit near the stage. Kathy comments to Candy on the decor when Heaven arrives, wearing a silver vinyl mini dress with a plunging neckline. She eyes the empty seat. You want to sit here? Lynn asks. Heaven's dress rides halfway up her thighs as she sits. How are you, Kathy? Fine. You?
Well, I'm doing just great. Tris called me just like he said he would. I'm so pumped. Bet you are too.
Kathy nods. She introduces Heaven to the others as the lights dim. Pastor Roy Stewart invites everyone for Sunday worship and hands the mic to Frog, who is decked out in 4 shades of green.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, friends. I am elated to see so many of you here. If you aren't here, you'll surely regret it later. Tonight's performer comes to us on the heels of his amazing exhibitionism at the Stonegate State Penitentiary, where he wowed a captive audience and received a standing ovation. But I can see you're all waiting with bated breath to hear him play. And if you've ever had your breath baited, well, you know how painful that can be. So, without further ado, a don't or a didn't, let's all give a warm welcome to the uniquely talented Mr. Heartthrob himself, Tristan Pover.
Frog grabs a chair and squeezes between Heaven and Kathy, smiling broadly and kissing hands as Tris comes on stage with his guitar, wearing white Levi's tan moccasins and a blue cardigan. The crowd cheers. Thank you. It's wonderful to be back. He bends a high note. His Martin D28 wails. After a lavish and precise sequence of bluesy tones, followed by a succession of jazzy chords, he begins to sing.
So you say you wanna be an outlaw just like me, to wear the brand of a wanted man and go down in infamy, to ride headlong into the Steady hands and empty guns don't make you Jesse James. Living with a price upon your head, in between alive and dead. We'll catch up with you in the end, son. Take it from me. The day will come when you will fall, when someone beats you to the draw, and you'll be one more old outlaw gunned down in the street.
The audience responds with loud applause. Tris smiles and plays Simon and Garfunkel's America. Kathy's heart soars when he sings her name. Next he plays All of a Sudden My Heart Sings, a romantic ballad from Paul Anka. Tris divides the room into 3 groups and teaches the audience 1 bottle of pop. They're jumping around enjoying it to the max. Frog is hysterical. Lynn, Jane, Leslie, Kathy, and Candy pump their fists as they belt out their lines. Heaven gyrates slinkily as she sings, Don't Chuck Your Muck in My Backyard. As the song ends, waves of applause, laughter, and cheers fill the house. I'm glad you're all having a good time, Tris says. They holler and cheer some more. He plays a few classical-sounding phrases, pauses, taps his guitar, and takes off on a familiar but dazzling run, and he sings Parabayalabamba, Parabayalabamba. The crowd is clapping in rhythm. He sings Twist and Shout and launches into another instrumental tear. Then he sings Chantilly Lace Had a Pretty Face and a Ponytail a-hanging down. The assemblage sings along with Tris's oldies medley with gusto. Parabayalabamba, Parabayalabamba. Then it's more Twist and Shout, and then he adds a 4th song. You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And back to Chantilly Lace Had a Pretty Face. At the end, the crowd explodes. Oh, baby, that's what I like. After a brief moment of silence, it's 100 people tops, but it sounds like 1,000. Tris receives their accolades. He bows his head, and the thunder continues. Thank you all. Thank you so much. More, we want more, we want more, we want more. Frog nods his head, and Tris plays Homeward Bound. He hands the microphone to Frog and exits as the crowd continues to go berserk. He's not bad, Frog says, as the clamor rages on. Our man Tris will be back with more great music at 10:30. The kitchen is now open, and so is the grill. Hallelujah! Our well burgers are only 40 cents. That is less than 3 cents a bite. But if you think that's too much, the old frogster will bite you for free. Now, friends, please don't be writing on our bathroom walls. That's a no-no. And the Grace Evangelical Lutheran Church has installed hidden cameras to stop it. I'm just kidding. Frog steps down and asks Candy, Can I get you a Wellburger? She smiles. You sure can. I'd be much obliged, Frog. And what thirst quencher can I bring you, my good woman? I'll have a Mountain Dew, kind sir. Thank you so much. I'll be right back, Candy. Kathy is looking for Tris without success. She feels a finger in the small of her back. You better come with me, Val says. He wants you. Where is he? That is classified information. Follow me. Leslie looks lost. My friend wants to meet him too, Kathy says. Okay? Snay, Athy, just you. He's in his truck. Val sits beside him, Kathy across from him on a cushion. I need your help, he says. Sure, Tris. What is it? Tell Kathy what you told me, Val. Val grits her teeth and scratches her head with both hands. All right, but before I start, you should know something. You owe me big time. I do, Kathy says. You best believe it. She whispers in Kathy's ear. You know the Barbie doll with the flashing jugs? Well, she throws her old 38Ds at Tristan the minute he steps outside. Oh, Tristan, you're so talented. I just love your music. I love it. Well, I grabbed her. I let her know good and proper. We do not allow that type of behavior. What's Val trying to sell you? Asks Tris. She says she's your bodyguard. He grimaces. Oh, that. How did I get so lucky? It's 'cause you need me, Tristan, and that's why I do what I do. Just tell Kathy what you told me, okay, Val? Oh, all right. It's like this, Kath. My home life is very stifling. That's putting it delicately. Bottom line, it sucks. My old man's been running around, and my old lady got fed up with it, right? Gives him the old heave-ho. Only now she's got a biker dude staying at the house, and he's nasty as snot. But anyway, the chick my old man's been making it with, she's talking to Frog when I get here. Tris said she came with you. What's your father's name? Roger Haynes. Oh, wow. So who's the chick? My roommate. Tell her she's making a big mistake. I'm sorry, Val. I had no idea. What are you going to do? I don't know. Tris thought you'd know what to do, 'cause this new guy, he really stinks. The whole house is like a pigsty. And Mom, she never used to drink. Not much anyway, but now she's totally plastered most of the time. Like I said, the place is a dump, and she expects me to clean up her mess. She knew I wanted to see Tristan. I told her last week, but she could give a crap. So I split this morning, and I'm not going back there either. I mean, why the hell should I? Do you have any brothers or sisters? Just me. Any family around here? Aunt Lois, but she's a junkie. Kathy nods. Have you told anyone else what's going on? Oh, a couple friends, basically. No one much gives a crap except Tristan. And you. Well, listen, Val. I think I know someone who can help if you give him a chance. Give who a chance? Why don't you come with me, Tris? You'll come too? Well, of course, he says. Let's go. They find the pastor. He invites them upstairs and makes a call. A few minutes later, an older woman arrives. This is Shirley. Shirley, this is Valerie and Kathy, and you know Tris. Well, hello. She focuses on Val. What's wrong, sweetheart? Kathy and Tris stand. We'll be downstairs if you need us, Kathy says. Hold up, Val says. We're still doing the song, aren't we? Absolutely, Tris says. Whenever you're ready. Tristan, Val says. I know I can trust you to behave yourself. What about her? Tris grins. You can trust her. All right, you can go. Tris and Kathy walk downstairs. I didn't know what to tell her, Kathy. I know she's a little bossy, but she's really very sweet. I probably should tell Candy what's going on. Frog looks steamed. She just left with a guy who was not very nice. I warned him. My hands are registered weapons. I even considered banishing him to a small planet in the Zokar galaxy where I get a preferred rate. But then Candy says she needs to talk to the malodorous pervert. Do you know what's going on? Do you know, Val? Kathy asks. Sure, Frog says. Triss's groupie / handler. Everyone knows Val. That was her father, Kathy says. With Candy? Frog is stunned. Well, I'll be dipped in canola oil if that don't beat everything. Where is Val? Kathy answers. Talking to Roy and Shirley. Good thing she was upstairs when Roger came. The other girls from the dorm are gone, along with most of the crowd. All that remains of the once jubilant atmosphere are a few scattered clouds of cigarette smoke. Frog comes on stage and says, Triss's next show will begin in 25 minutes. Triss squeezes Kathy's hand. I can ride you back to the dorm. You don't have to stick around for the second set. But I want to, she says. He smiles. I need to get ready. Want to come along? She follows. Inside his truck, he brushes his hair, tunes his guitar, and looks at her. What? She asks. I'll be away this week in Baltimore. Family? He nods. My cousin Pete. Mom said he showed up at school yesterday with a loaded gun. The teacher called the police and he took off. My uncle's a cop, but he couldn't find him. Any idea where he is? I don't know, but I'm leaving first thing in the morning. You'll call me. I will. Back inside, Val sits with the Stewarts. Kathy joins them as the people start pouring in. Frog introduces Triss again. The crowd cheers as he comes on stage. He sings It's Only Love by the Beatles and Mac the Knife, just like Bobby Darin. The cheers ring out. They can't get enough of him. Thank you. He smiles and nods his head. I've got a friend. I've asked her to help me with my next song. Val walks on stage and takes the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to the amazing Miss Valerie Haynes. The crowd applauds. He strums his guitar and begins to sing, Lord, I open my window to receive your light. My eyes behold your glory, what a precious sight. Her voice is expressive and precise. You open the windows of heaven, and your blessings fall on me. I open my window to you, Lord. You open your windows to me. The audience eats it up. Val is beaming as she returns to her seat. As Triss sings, Going Out of My Head, Candy and Frog walk in. Val glares. Pastor Stewart whispers to Kathy, she's staying here tonight. We're meeting the mother after church tomorrow. Triss sings, When a Man Loves a Woman, the audience still in the palm of his hand. As the audience grooves on the song, Triss lays down his guitar and begins to clap his hands. He gyrates as everyone begins to clap rhythmically. Your love is lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. He rushes to the piano and begins to pound a fierce rhythm. So keep it up! He brings every listener into the moment. Many are standing and clapping. They're singing, higher, higher, higher. He drags his thumb across the keys like Jerry Lee Lewis, and then he grabs the guitar for another spectacular solo. He builds it to an absolute climax, and then brings everyone back for a new song, How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. As they repeat the chorus, Triss sings, Your love keeps on lifting me higher, higher, and higher. He sneaks back to the piano and somehow plays both songs simultaneously. Then he ends with a spectacular series of Liberace-like arpeggios. The frenzied crowd rises to applause. He bows. They are screaming for encores as Frog takes the microphone. Thank you, Triss. Fantastic job. He looks at the crowd. You know, folks, seems like only yesterday the old Frogmeister was teaching those songs to the young Tristan. More, we want more, they yell. Mr. Heartthrob, Frog says.
If you can hear me over all this noise that you are responsible for creating, I order you to come forth and do another. More! We want more! We want more!
Tris peeks his head through the doorway. The audience explodes. He returns to the stage and plays Up on the Roof. The applause is deafening as he sits down with Kathy, Candy, and Frog. I'm wiped out, he says.
Great show, amigo. Can I pour you a libation? Frog says.
Ginseng, please, kind sir. Tris looks at Kathy and Candy. He dips his chin to the table, spreads his arms in a comical way, and makes a snoring sound. Candy laughs. I was really bummed today, but your singing, wow, it just makes me feel good all over. The crowd files out slowly. Many stop to tell Tris how much they enjoyed his music. Val scowls as she exits with Roy and Shirley. It's 3 past midnight. The boys walk the girls back to their dorm. Frog says, "Thanks ever so, fairest Kathy. You did one bang-up job. Words are insufficient to even begin to thank you for bringing all these CPGs to the well." CPGs? Candy asks.
Frog explains. That's certified practitioners of gorgeosity.
Kathy is squeezing Tris's hand. He's squeezing back. Frog continues to amuse. Candy revels in his levity. I'll miss you, Tris says. Kathy gives him her longing, sad face. When can I see you again? I told Debbie I'd stop in next Sunday. We can get together then. She feels so complete in his arms. Good night, lovely one, he says. Good night, she answers. Frog gives Candy a hug and kisses her on the cheek. Tris promises Kathy he'll call after he gets to Baltimore. They say good night again, like he's going off to war. Candy and Kathy sign in. Candy pushes the up button on the elevator. What a night, Kathy says as she flops on her bed. Yeah, Kathy says. Chapter 6. Waiting for his call. Sunday morning, the girls dined at Pop's Deli. So, what happened with Roger? Candy bit into a sardine. I told him I didn't want to see him anymore. I mean, he's just using me, right, Kathy? He doesn't really care about me, right? All he cares about is Roger Haynes. Well, yeah. He didn't tell you he was married? He said they were getting divorced. I could just kick myself. Did you know he had a daughter? He told me. Why? You know the girl that sang with Tris? Holy crap! She was staring daggers at me all night. No wonder. How old is she? 14. They walked along the wall, that 3-foot-high stone partition that ran along University Avenue. So, Catherine, what's the story with Tris? Candy asked. Well, we really just met. Well, aren't we the coy one? He's a major babe is what he is, and you're crazy in love with him. Don't tell me you're not. If you say so, Rumi. I cannot believe how good he plays. And talk about stage presence. Definitely. What about Frog? Did he ask you out? No, not yet, but he will. Awfully confident, aren't we? Why wouldn't I be? So tell me, who was that Marilyn Monroe Jane Mansfield wannabe? You must mean Heaven. I met her at Pop's right after the sit-in. She practically lives to tell Tris how great she thinks his music is. Quite the bimbo, is she not? But we were all fairly outrageous ourselves. When you get right down to it, she sort of fit in. How crazy is that? They were back in room 321 when the phone rang. "Hello," Kathy sang into the mouthpiece.
Who's this?
A voice blared. "Kathy, who are you?"
It's me, Roger. Is Candy there? Let me talk to her.
"Just a minute." She peeked in the door. "It's Roger." "I don't want to talk to him." "Sorry, Raj. She doesn't want to talk to you."
Tell her it's important.
"He says it's important." "Tell him to screw himself," Candy said. "Why don't you tell him yourself?" Candy took the phone.
I told you, it's over. I don't care. Just leave me the hell alone.
She slammed the phone down. "I hate him." They ran into Jane, Lynn, and Leslie at the dining hall. "Guess what time our girl Leslie got up today?" Lynn said. Candy and Kathy shrugged. 12:30, Jane said. "Can you believe it?" "It's them quiet ones you gotta look out for," Lynn said. Leslie looked like she was ready to cry. Kathy came to her rescue. "How'd you like the coffee house, Les?" "Oh, wow," she said. "I mean, I loved it. Totally. Tris is so amazing, and Frog's so completely hilarious. Look, he even gave me his business card." She pulled it out of her purse and laid it on the table. It said, "Francis Robert O'Grady, DBTC," with his address and phone number. "DBTC? What's that?" Lynn asked. Leslie smirked. "Don't bend the card." That evening, Leslie knocked on Kathy's door. They walked down to the donut shop and took a corner booth. "I really need to talk to you, Kathy, but I'm worried what you'll think." Kathy nodded. "You don't have to worry." She waited. "How do you know when you like a boy?" Kathy shrugged. "A gut feeling, I guess." "Can you feel like you really, really like a boy a whole lot, and then you don't like him at all?" "Of course. Feelings change. One day they're here, then the next day." Leslie sighed deeply and shook her head. "I am so stupid. What was I thinking?" "What happened?" "I met a boy at the well last night. He was really nice. We went to his apartment and we listened to music, drank a little wine, and we talked. He had a great sense of humor. I love it when people can tell a good joke, you know. I thought we were just gonna talk, but then he kissed me and it was nice. I liked it. He was a real good kisser, but, well, you know." Kathy nodded. "That's why I got in so late. But it wasn't like I thought it would be. It wasn't beautiful, and I don't even think I like him now." Kathy wrapped an arm around her. Leslie laid her head on Kathy's shoulder. "So how do you know when it's right? I mean, you know, when it's right to go to bed with a boy." "I can't answer that," Kathy said. "I thought it was supposed to make you feel good all over," she said. "Well, I feel crummy. Why did I do it?" "Why?" Kathy shrugged. Leslie sighed again and looked up at Kathy. "I guess I feel a little better now that I told you about it. So, Kathy, are you and Tris, are you like boyfriend and girlfriend?" "We just met a couple days ago." She thinks about him constantly now. Every time the phone rings, she jumps. Finally, he calls Monday night. "Hello?"
Kathy, it's Tris. How are you?
"I'm fine. Did you find your cousin?"
Yes, thank God. He's in detox.
Is he all right?
He will be. There's a rehab near the hospital. He's starting Thursday. I told him I'd stick around. He's a real good kid, Kathy, just a little confused.
How'd you find him?
I had to talk to a few people. He was staying with his supplier. That's whose gun it was, too. She's 40 with 3 kids. They were all pretty messed up when I got there.
I'm glad he's all right. I miss you.
I miss you, too. Can you meet me at Pop's on Sunday?
Yes.
10 o'clock?
I'll be there.
Oh, a couple of my friends are playing at the Well Friday. Yvette and Christoph from up my way. They're excellent.
Sure, I'll check it out. Candy says hi. Frog's taking her out.
Tell her hi for me. I've got to go, but I'll see you Sunday.
Tuesday night, the CPGs watched election returns in the dorm lounge. Shortly after midnight, the networks declared Richard M. Nixon the winner. A big rock was hurled through the front window of the administration building that night, and the words, "End the imperialist aggression," were spray painted on the front door. Friday night, Candy sparkled in a print blouse, a short black skirt, fishnet stockings, and black pumps. A heart-shaped pendant and new updo added to her allure. I'd sure love to see old Frog's face when he gets a look at you, Kathy said. I'll probably see you down there. Yvette Boucher was an arrestingly beautiful black woman. She sang with power, spoke with a haughty confidence, and played a dynamic flute. Christoph Charles' guitar skills complemented her soulful delivery. She was singing "People Get Ready" when Kathy and Leslie arrived. Heaven wiggled a chair, and they sat. "Awesome, aren't they?" Heaven said. "Definitely," Leslie said. "Tris called me," Heaven said, beaming. "I'm dancing with you all at Cross Mountain on Sunday." Val was working in the kitchen with the pastor's daughter. "Guess what?" she said, when Kathy and Leslie ordered hot mulled cider. "I'm singing with Tris at the old folks' home on Sunday." "He called you?" Kathy asked. "Sure did. Frog's coming too, and so's..." She made an hourglass shape. "Can I come too?" Leslie asked. "Sure," Val said. "Just be here at 12. Yvette and Christoph sat at Kathy's table after their set. "I've known Tristan since grade school," Christoph said, "and Yvette. We're all very tight." Yvette sighed. "Kenny was such a beautiful man. I still think about him every single day." "It's just so horrible about Michael," Christoph said. "I don't know how Tris stays so positive." Leslie found a Monopoly game. Yvette and Christoph stepped outside. At 10 o'clock, Frog took the podium. "Our open mic performer is a grad student from the town of McAdoo. That's just to the north of Wackadoo. Let's all give him a warm, welcome. Homo sapiens, I give you Eric Lamb." In a buckskin vest and leather pants, he was tall and muscular with a look-at-me swagger. He did a fair Jim Morrison impersonation on Light My Fire, but received only polite applause. Just like a Rolling Stone failed to click either with the shrinking, mostly black audience. Eric Lamb talked to the man in green afterward about being a featured performer in the near future. He spoke enthusiastically about his musical exploits, his best songs, his black belt in karate, his high GPA, and fluency in 5 languages. Frog said he'd be in touch. Kathy went downstairs.
she saw Leslie saddled with a bunch of mortgage properties and only a little cash, roll a 6. "Oh, crapola, Park Place, I'm dead!" Suddenly, Kathy felt Eric leaning against her, feigning interest in the Monopoly game. "I'm ready to head out," she told Leslie. "Are you coming with me?" Leslie raved about Yvette and how much she loved the well all the way to the dorm. Back in Kathy's room, she asked, "What's it like to have boys look at you like I always see them looking at you? Is it as great as I think it is?" "No, not that great, really, Les. It gets old after a while." "I sure wish I had your problem." "No, you don't. Trust me. Can I interest you in a donut?" "I don't know. I'm trying to lose weight. Problem is, I get lonely sometimes, and when I'm lonely, I eat, and I love chocolate." She stuffed the donut in her mouth. Candy got in at 1 o'clock. She told Kathy that Yvette's second show was fantastic. "I wanted to stay," Kathy said, "but I was really tired, and that Eric dude, I know, he was rather strange. Believe me, Frog won't be booking him anytime soon." "I figured as much. What about Valerie? Did she talk to you?" "She did say hi, but she doesn't like me. Not that I blame her. She doesn't seem to hate me, though." "Well, that's a relief, I guess. Did you talk to Frog about any of it?" "Heck no. Was I supposed to?"
Chapter 7, Gabriel Battle. When not intoxicated, Gabriel Horevich was depressed, tormented even. His world was in tatters. It all began when the underachieving guitar picker's co-star in the senior class play, Cindy Riley, married a third-string Green Bay Packers tight end. Gabe came to Lions by way of Lehigh University in Bethlehem, where his Russian-born father, Dr. Gregor Horevich, taught parasitology. Gabe's roommate, Larry Rosen, came to Lions by way of Vietnam. After he convinced the Army psychiatrists he was schizophrenic. For this, he would receive $975 a month for the rest of his life, since there was no cure. Gabe's mother, Lydia, had a master's degree in classical music from Columbia. She hated the Beatles, despised Dylan, detested Dion, and let Gabe know on that terrible day he was rejected by Princeton, Yale, Harvard, and Dartmouth. "You would have been accepted at every single one of them, Gabriel, if only you'd studied, instead of wasting all your time and energy on that so-called music of yours." To save money, they persuaded him to attend Lehigh and live at home. College life was tedious, pointless even, save for his ongoing fascination with music. He was singing at the Gourd, Lafayette College's coffee house, on a Saturday night when Cindy appeared in a simple tan print blouse and tight blue jeans that were grateful for the privilege of covering her body. He hadn't seen her for an entire year, except in his imagination, where she occupied a furnished room. She sat in front. Her big brown eyes implored him to sing his most romantic songs. She talked to him after the show. Her expressive mouth pulled at his heart every time it moved. She gave him a ride home, and they sat in her car in front of his house, talking till midnight, her weekend curfew. "It's late, Gabe. I'd better get back," she said, but her eyes said something different. So he leaned her way ever so slowly until he was less than an inch from paradise, bliss, and rapture, glory. Hallelujah! You kiss even better than I remember, she said. They did it again. His fingers sunk deep into her lower back as splendor bombs exploded in the night sky. I really have to go, she said. I'll call you, he promised. Soon. Call me soon, Gabe. He called the next morning. Her mother said she was out. Monday afternoon, Mrs. Riley said she was in New York for the rest of the summer. He asked for her phone number. She has yours, Gabriel. I'm sure she'll call you if she needs to tell you anything. His letters were unanswered, so he called again a month later. Mrs. Riley told him Cindy was marrying Jimmy Joe Hoskett, the local football legend who'd been selected in the first round of the NFL draft. That same night, a friend introduced him to marijuana. Life at home became slightly more bearable until Gabe's little brother Gilbert started getting bullied by another 8th grader. After Lydia called the school to browbeat the principal, it stopped happening there. But the other boy went out of his way to attack Gil the minute he stepped off school property. The bully's parents said, boys will be boys. The school wouldn't do anything either. Finally, Lydia and Gregor went to the other boy's home. He was hitting a pinky ball in the yard. Lydia told him who she was. She said if he ever touched Gil again, she'd have him put in jail. The boy's mother came running out and ordered her to leave. She said she'd call the police if she didn't leave. Lydia flew into a rage. You're lousy brats committing felonious assault, and now you're threatening me? She grabbed the boy's bat and smashed it into the front window of the car in the driveway. When the woman tried to stop her, Lydia shoved her to the ground. Brandishing the bat, she was screaming obscenities when Gregor pulled her away. He apologized profusely and promised to pay for all the damages. That afternoon, the police arrested Lydia Harevich for felonious assault and destruction of private property, among other things. She spent 5 weeks in a mental hospital. Larry's father, attorney Seymour Rosen, pleaded her down to simple assault and reckless endangerment. She received a fine and probation. She also lost her teaching job at Liberty High, for which she blamed her husband and older son. None of this would have happened if only you'd looked after Gil and protected him the way you both know you should have. Gabe began to lean heavily on his father to let him transfer to another college. A former colleague taught embryology at Lyons. Gabe was able to enroll just in time for the 1968 spring term. That summer, Larry received his medical discharge. He dyed his hair and beard red, got a tattoo of a Viking on his right forearm, and spent quite a bit of time visiting Gabe. In September, they rented an apartment on University Avenue. Larry found a new psychiatrist for whom he gladly demonstrated all the symptoms necessary to perpetuate his monthly endowment. Gabe and Larry's symbiosis was simple yet profound. Larry had the money, Gabe had the music, and the music drew the women. They embarked on their musical enterprise with purpose and vigor. Calling himself Michael McShane, Larry phoned all the Lions fraternities with a canned rap about the incredible demand for Gabriel Battle's music and his immeasurable impact on the entertainment world. Prior to making these calls, Larry enlisted the aid of 6 alluring women who visited all of the frats, calling themselves co-eds for battle. These campus cuties handed out flyers featuring outlandish quotes like, "I felt a wave of excitement so intense I thought I might pass out. It seemed like my whole body was being massaged by 1,000 magical fingers. The room filled up with a heavenly sound that made me want to dance, clap, scream, cry, shout, and rip my clothes off." Gabriel Battle had begun to sing. Melissa G., sophomore, McKeesport. "I dig Jim Morrison, and I super dig Mick Jagger, but no one turns me on more than Gabriel Battle when he sings. There's just something about Gabe that totally brings out the wild beast in me." Lorinda K., freshman, New Ringgold. The Wall, at the sunniest time of day, became their recruiting epicenter. Larry provided pizza and ice cream, Gabe sang, and the girls came. Larry always packed rolled reefer for the best prospects, that upper 5% who were co-eds for battle caliber. Agent McSwain quickly booked 14 frat parties and a couple of barroom gigs as well. These typically paid $50 to $125 each. One unusually sunny Saturday afternoon in November, Gabe and Larry were searching for new talent. Gabe was singing "Hey Jude" when he spotted 2 dreamboats about 20 feet away. One was tall, with light brown hair down to her shoulders. It looked like she had a terrific slim body under her winter coat. The blonde also had a coat on and a face like Julie Christie in Darling. The tall girl walked across the street to the ice cream shop. Larry was picking up pizza next door. The Dazzler hovered just a few body lengths away. Forgetting everyone and everything else, Gabe started singing an original, inspired by his many romantic mortifications. He tried for eye contact, but she was deep in thought. Larry returned with 3 large pizzas. The tall beauty handed the blonde a cone. Gabe finished his song, his eyes fixed on them. He laid down his guitar and pointed at the boxes. "Pizza?" They drew closer. The tall one leaned her cone in his direction. He opened his mouth. She pushed it in. "Oh yeah, peanut butter swirl, yum." The blonde stepped forward to give him a lick. "Jamocha almond fudge, his absolute favorite. How did she know?" He pointed at the pizza. Each girl took a slice from a different box and fed the other. Gabe took a bite of pepperoni and pointed at the blonde. She put her cone back in his mouth. He pointed at the tall girl. More peanut butter swirl. Larry walked over. Smiling, he pulled a cigar-like reefer out of his hip pocket, lit it up, toked, and handed it to Gabe, who took a big hit and tried to pass it to the ladies, who politely declined. He handed it back to Larry. After introductions, Candy asked Gabe if he'd ever played at the Well. He had not. She asked for his phone number. She said she knew the guy who booked the acts. Gabe looked at Kathy. It was impossible to do otherwise. "You're so quiet." "Did you write that song?" she asked. Yeah? Could you play us another one you wrote? He picked up his guitar and began to sing.
Sitting in my easy chair, watching you laying there, sleeping on the couch after a long day. It almost chokes me up inside. I have to force it to subside. You look just like an angel in every single way. Then I think of everything you give, and all you do to make my life worth living. I wake up every morning just to see you smile. It's when I know it's all gonna be okay. Don't think that I don't notice when you go that extra mile to show your love for me in every way. Every minute, every hour, every day.
I really like that, Kathy said. It was time for her speech class. Gabe's singing at Lambda Chi tonight, Larry said. Would you ladies like to come along? Sounds like fun, Kathy said, but I can't. I'd sure like to see you again sometime, Gabe said. What's your number? Candy will give it to you. We're roommates. Candy jotted it down on a piece of pizza box. Give us a call next time you're playing somewhere. I will, Gabe said. I promise. Why'd you say you can't go? Candy asked as they walked away. I'm meeting Tris for breakfast. So? By the time the pizza was gone, Larry had 2 new co-eds for Battle. They all went back to the apartment. Later, Gabe put on his black silk shirt with sequins, black leather pants, black patent leather shoes, and the black bomber jacket he liked to lay across his guitar case right before his first number. They arrived at the frat with 6 very attractive women, surrounded by beer drinkers and pot smokers chasing a happy ending. Gabe played his songs, told his jokes, and acted just like a rock star till 1 a.m. They partied on at the apartment till 3. Gabe sneaked into his room and fell asleep. In the morning, there were 5 girls lying on the couches and living room rug. Gabe fed his kitten and darted back to his room. Chapter 8, An Auspicious Debut. At Pop's Deli the next morning, they're together again. You should have seen her face, Kathy, Tris said, when I told her he's only 17. He told her he was 23. And she's 40? With a son and daughter older than him, and a baby. He's in rehab now? Yes. Their eyes dance to a slow song as he holds her hand. They ride in his truck. Dobie the kitten sits on her lap, and Maynard the mouse runs on the wheel. Val dashes out to meet them at the well. Come on, Tristan, you're late. Frog, Leslie, and Heaven are waiting inside. Frog plays an Abbott and Costello tape. He hands cue cards with all the lines neatly typed to Leslie and Kathy. He rehearses them while Heaven, in a pink silk shirt and skin-tight blue leotard, bounces about nimbly as Tris plays the piano. Val sings Harper Valley PTA and You Don't Own Me, accompanied by Tris on guitar. They pile into the Wonder Bread truck. Val sits beside Triss, who swaps one-liners with Frog all the way to the nursing home, where Debbie Gilmore greets them. 60 gather in the social hall. Most are in wheelchairs, waiting for a miracle. Triss picks up the microphone. Hi, everybody. So good to see you all again. Are we ready to have some fun? Several cheer and clap. You ready to sing and clap your hands? More applause. We brought some of the top talents in the area just for you. Opening for us, we have a phenomenal singer. Let's all give her a warm welcome, Miss Valerie Haynes. Val walks to the microphone, smiling and waving as Triss begins to play his guitar. You don't own me. I'm not just one of your little toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. She knows how to work the crowd. She waves and blows kisses as Triss promises to bring her back. He introduces Frog, who juggles 3 oranges while doing his impressions of Groucho Marx, Jack Benny, George Burns, James Stewart, Cary Grant, Jimmy Cagney, Edward G. Robinson, and John Wayne. He does magic tricks with a deck of cards, a handkerchief, a rope, a cane, and a top hat. After a round of applause, Triss says, "Next, ladies and gentlemen, we have an exquisite dancer. Let's give a warm welcome to Miss Heaven Flowers." He sits at the piano and plays a ragtime number. She puts on the top hat, twirls the cane, and does a tap dance. Triss slows the tempo. Heaven does a handstand, a flip, and a split. She leaps and turns cartwheels as Triss swings into honky-tonk. She twirls and tosses a baton, executes a reverse somersault, and catches the baton. The crowd is ecstatic. Heaven bows and points to Triss. "Now, ladies and gentlemen," he says, "we have a very special treat, Cross's premier comedy team. Let's all give a big howdy to our lovely ladies of laughter, Miss Leslie Goldstein and Miss Kathy Solomon." Leslie wears a little derby and Kathy sports a fake mustache. They read their lines straight off the cards. The crowd roars after every punchline. Then Triss sings High Hopes. The assemblage joins him on the chorus. Frog joins Triss for a Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis comedy routine. Val sings Harper Valley PTA, and everyone comes out to take a bow. They march off the stage. "We've enjoyed visiting with you today," Triss says, as the crowd begs for more. He calls the others back on stage. They hold up signs with the words in big letters as Triss leads everyone in a rapturous one bottle of pop sing-along. "Everybody give yourself a big hand," Triss says, "'cause you were flat out great. Let's all say goodbye to the little lady with the big voice, Miss Valerie Haynes. Thank you. And a fond farewell to our dancing darling, Miss Heaven Flowers. Take a bow, Heaven. And a big hand for our queens of campus comedy, Miss Leslie Goldstein and Miss Kathy Solomon. Great job, ladies. And a hearty hand clap for our jovial juggler, the man with 1,000 voices, the one, the only, Frog." You've been a fantastic audience. Thank you, one and all, and God bless every one of you. Debbie Gilmore hugs him as the applause continues. Cake, cookies, sandwiches, and beverages are served. Kathy introduces Leslie to Harvey, who tells her an off-color joke he heard from a nurse. She puts a piece of chocolate cake in his mouth. Frog is taking voice requests Alfred Hitchcock, Winston Churchill, Peter Lorre, Jimmy Durante. Heaven and Val are basking in their sudden celebrity. Kathy and Leslie take Harvey for a ride as Tris talks with Debbie. Would you like to do this again? Tris asks as they ride back to the well. Debbie thinks we should do this at all the nursing homes. Nobody speaks. I just want to say, you all were great. You made a lot of people happy today. We had a terrific show for just one rehearsal, don't you think? Still no answer. What do you think, Leslie? Well, I was kind of scared at first until I heard them laughing. You were great, Tris says. So were you, Kathy. Heaven, you're one fantastic dancer, and a whole lot more. Val, you were awesome, of course. And Frog, you sure toss a mean orange. Anyway, we've been invited to the Leader Nursing Home in Sterling next Sunday. Can you make it, Leslie? Yeah. Great. Kathy? Sure. Heaven? Oh, you bet. Val? Definitely. Can we count on you too, Frog? Of course you can count on me, old chum. Just don't spell on me. Not ever. It makes me psychotic. We start at 1:30, Tris says. So we'll meet at the well at noon, okay? After dropping off the others at the well, Tris leaves for Baltimore. Kathy called her mom to ask about inviting Tris for Thanksgiving. She called her best friend to tell her about him, but Ginny wanted to talk about her new guy. He was 28, divorced with a son, and Jewish. Her mother didn't approve, but her father, who lived in Los Angeles, said, as long as you're happy, baby, that's all that counts. Leslie invited Kathy to go home with her for the weekend. She promised they'd come back early Sunday in her brother's Mustang. Kathy said she couldn't go. Tris was taking her to the Rosedale Inn Saturday night, and Candy thought she might be pregnant.